Good morning. Welcome to day 4 of the Spring Renewal Yoga Challenge. I'm so glad you have made it to day 4 because today is restorative yoga. It's one of my favorite styles of yoga, and I feel like it's one that isn't given its due as far as the importance of it. We feel like sometimes slowing down and taking our time and just letting the body recover is kind of a luxury. We treat it as self-care, as a treat for getting through a hard day. And so that's what we're doing this week. This is day 4 of this challenge. So you've challenged yourself for the last 3 days. And so today we're going to slow down, let the body recover, and let the mind get really quiet. So with that in mind, we're going to take just a moment. I'm going to sip my coffee, see if I have coffee today. I wanted to show you how you can make a bolster out of just a blanket. This is like a twin size comforter, so it's nothing fancy or special. I got this, it's a hand-me-down. So like I didn't even pay any money for it. But you'll notice I'm folding it in half to start with. I'm going to fold it in half again, see, and that's about armpit to hip. That's good. Armpit to hip is good. That's kind of where we want to be. And everybody is going to have a different ratio for that. So from that, I'm just going to roll this up. And you notice I'm not making this too fancy. It doesn't have to be any kind of a really big deal. And you'll notice I've got all of the things right there. So all of the edges right there. So what I might do is I might fold this in thirds instead of in half. And that way, the edges, because this is kind of an older blanket and all of the filling has gone into the edges, this way it feels a little more distributed. Oh, my cat wants to leave the room. We're having all kinds of fun today, aren't we? So get yourself a blanket, roll it up. It doesn't even have to be that big, but that's not a bad size. Or if you have a bolster, use a bolster. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started by taking our bolster, and in this case, this rolled up blanket here. I'm going to put it edge down. If you want to, you can tie it with a string or a scarf or something like that just to keep it closed. Or you can just leave it like this. We're not going to be doing a lot of moving around here. And I want to place it right underneath my hips, like right in the crease of my hips here. Bring the hands in front of the face, palms down, stacking one on top of the other, and just let your forehead rest here. If you need more space for your face so that you can breathe, you can place a block underneath. You can also place a blanket underneath your torso if you feel like you need a little more space. Totally up to you. And we're going to stay here for quite a while. So just find that space that feels good for you. Settle in. And then if you can, close your eyes. Turn your focus to your breath. And trust that I will guide you into the next pose when the time is right. I'm going to keep track of the time. You just come into your crocodile pose here and relax. anytime your mind starts to wander away or you start to get caught up in a spiral of thoughts, just gently nudge your way back to your breath and let the rest of it go. You don't have to force anything to happen. Our minds tend to wander naturally, so this is just a gentle reminder to come back to your breath again and again, over and over. Good. Gently from here, we're going to bring the fingers in line with the chest. Take it nice and slow, nice and easy. And press up into a tabletop pose here. And then gently, let's just come back into a little child's pose just for a moment. Maybe resting your head on your bolster or in your rolled up blanket. Good, and then from here, we're going to move into our next pose. So for this, we're going just to move the blanket a little further up. Let's move it lengthwise on the mat. So because mine, it looks like it's a little bit bigger on this side, I'm going to use it for my head. So it looks a little bit like an incline. And we're going to turn away from it and lay our spine along our bolster or along our rolled up blanket here. And make sure your head is nice and supported. Let me take my ponytail out here. And then you can leave your feet planted on the mat if that feels good, or you can stretch your legs out long. Whatever feels better for you here. Let the arms come to the sides, palms up. And give yourself a chance to rest here. Close your eyes. Always bringing the focus back to the breath. And just noticing how the body responds to the breath. anytime your mind starts to wander away, remember that's totally okay. Just gently come back to the breath. Good. We're going to start to come back nice and slow. Walking one foot up and then the other foot up. And we're going to come off of our rolled up blanket nice and slow. Let's roll over to one side, coming into a little fetal position. And then using your hands to help press you up so we can move this blanket out of the way, this rolled up blanket or this bolster, whichever you're using. And then lay back down onto your back. And let's bring this blanket or bolster underneath the knees. And this is going to be our Shavasana, our final pose of this practice. So if you like, you can also cover yourself up with a blanket. If you have an eye pillow, you can use an eye pillow. Just let yourself get really nice and safe and secure. Feather your nest. Make this the coziest Shavasana you've ever had. And sink down into it. Each exhale releasing more and more. Releasing any tension that's in your body. Releasing any tension that is in your mind. And maybe even releasing any tension that's in your heart. So let it go one exhale at a time. as you begin to come back, do so very slowly and very gently, starting with wiggling the fingers and the toes. And eventually allowing that movement to grow into the wrists and the ankles, rotating them one way and then the other. Slowly start to give yourself a full body stretch, like you're waking up for the very first time, reaching hands as far away from feet as possible. And then gently walk one foot up, walk the other foot up, maybe resting them on your bolster. And bringing everything over to one side. Coming into a little fetal position, maybe resting your head on your arm. Taking a moment here to come more and more back into the room. And then gently use your hands to help bring you up to a seated position. We'll complete this class by bringing the hands together over the heart. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Let it go with a juicy sigh. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I hope that this practice helps you to feel more centered, more calm, more grounded, so that you can move through your day and approach challenges with more ease. And I'll see you again tomorrow for day 5 of the Spring Renewal Yoga Challenge. Until then, peace.